Hello? Hi, everyone. My name is Joseph Delong, and I'm a contributor at Sushi. On the basis of the name of this talk, I can imagine that you know what I'm about to talk about. So for Sushi, we've been working on this next generation AMM, and it's called Trident. So Trident symbolizes like a lot of growing up for Sushi. For the last 60 days, we've been in a dead sprint working on this deployment. And I think it's like represents the kind of like the best in DeFi in terms of build quality and capital efficiency. While we've had other developments like Bento Box and Kashi, we still kind of like rely on a legacy product built by one of our contemporaries. And yeah, so this has been a lot of hard work. And I also want to give a shout out to Crypto Cobain for giving us the name. It's kind of like a play on Sushi being a fork. Yeah. So Sushi built Trident as a native application on our Bento Box platform. And the Bento Box platform works like this. It is a base layer on-chain that acts as a contract, and tokens come into the Bento Box. And then applications can be built on top of the Bento Box. But those tokens that come into the base layer can then be exercised in yield strategies. So for instance, typically when you're like providing liquidity on a platform, your tokens go in and they sit there and they're used kind of like only for swaps. With Bento Box, when you deposit them, the underlying actual tokens can be taken and exercised in strategies, which will give us a 2x capital efficiency over our nearest competitor. Yeah. So, and like this, Trident's going to be on top of Bento. And so at that time, we're going to have all of the TVL that we have in our exchange right now is going to go into Bento Box. And because of that, we are going to have $2 billion in assets under management to exercise into strategies. And in that way, Sushi is also going to become one of the largest yield aggregators. So I said that we built a new AMM, but we actually built 4. We built 4 different pool types. And so we have 3 new pool types and the one that everybody is always familiar with, which is our like 50-50 concert product. As I'm sure some of you have guessed or assumed, we've built our own implementation of concentrated liquidity. And that will be going live with Trident. We've built a new type of pool we call hybrid. Hybrid pools are really great for swapping like-kind assets like USDT and USDC, REN BTC to WBTC. And our hybrid pools are permissionless. So you can create a pool of 2, 3, or up to 32 different assets of like kind. And then we're keeping our constant product pools, but we're going to have a 15% gas efficiency gain, as well as a 2x capital efficiency gain. And lastly, we're including weighted pools, where you can have a price impact preferentially on one side of the pair. So Sushi Trident is also a factory. It allows us to add new versions of pools as like new developments happen in the AMM space. so if like some new, more interesting competitive version happens, it just has to conform to our iPool interface. And we're going to be doing an EIP for that as well. But once it conforms to the iPool interface, our routing and everything will pick it up and use it just like it were in the AMM. Speaking of routers, we've built a new router called Tines. And Tines is a MultiRoute, MultiHop router. And I think that's a bit confusing for people, so I've included some examples of what that looks like. So, like MultiHop, right? This is what people are doing now, like just about every router. And you go, I want to go from token A to token C, but I can't go directly because there's no pool for token A to token C. I go from token A to token B in one pool, then token B to token C in another. No real innovation there. But MultiRoute allows us to kind of like start from two different routes. For instance, we're going to need this with our weighted pools and, like, let's say our constant product pools. Once you hit diminishing returns from price impacts for a trade, it will auto balance in between another similar pool that will get you the same result, right? So it'll kind of balance in between the two. You may have seen something similar. And so Tines is also capable of doing both of these at the same time. So we can do really complex trades, and Tines takes into account like gas, swap fees, like graph topology, and is able to route a trade very effectively. All right. Sure. Okay, Gasper and Kino, are you done like handing out like cards? We good? Okay, cool. So there's also going to be a new interface to accommodate these new pool types in Trident. And that interface is going to be awesome. It's a very simple to use, very understandable interface that's mobile first. And I think you're really going to like it. Oh, yeah. So all the cards that Kino and Gasper just handed out to you, those are actually wallets. And what you're going to get is you're going to get this NFT right here. This NFT is by an artist named Chewy Stoll. He's a fantastic artist, makes renders very similar to this. And it's actually not just an NFT, it's a physical NFT. So you're going to you're going to be able to burn that NFT, and what you'll get is you'll get a piece of blotter paper. You'll get a 19 by 19 centimeter piece of blotter paper with 900 tabs, and the name of this piece is called Bad Trip, and the token ID, or the token ticker is LSD. And so for the people who aren't here, who may be seeing on live stream right now, Rachel, if you're watching the live stream, launched the auction. We're going to launch an auction for 20 of these NFTs as well on our Miso platform. So miso.sushi.com. Go there and see our auction, and maybe you can get one of these, be able to participate even not being here. So we're going to do 20 of those. And then after the auction ends, 7 days later, your hardware wallets that you all have, the cards, courtesy of Ether cards, we're going to drop the ERC20 to you on that card. So just probably like, I think this ends in 2 days, so like 9 days from now, you'll have that NFT. It's going to be a badass one, so yeah. All right, so at Sushi, we really believe in GPL3. We really believe in open source software, and all of this is going to be released as GPL3 as well. Thank you. Sushi owes its existence to GPL3, and we are not kind of faking this idea of crypto anarchy. We really do believe in these principles, and we'll continue to release everything as GPL3. Lastly, moving day. I'm going to make sure I get my notes because this is like the scary one for people because we'll be migrating tokens, right? So if right now you're staked like yield farming in Sushi in the MasterChef contract, you're going to be automatically migrated to the new AMM. You won't have to do anything. It'll just take you to the new place. And the details and date of that will be effectively communicated ahead of time. We're not going to just do it kind of like in the middle of the night. We also have a time lock on the migration. So, and for partners and integrators, we're going to make sure that you have early access to the platform and that any kind of like modifications that you need to make to your platform, we'll give you access to that. And that's really all I have to say. I really appreciate everybody coming out and the hard work of the Sushi team and the Trident team. It's going to be a really fantastic deployment. Thank you.